for the record to start, and maybe I start again. Yep. Okay. So yeah. Good morning, and welcome back to our third and final sessions as part of the Science Aligned training session. Yeah, thanks again for dialing in. Good to see everyone. Good morning. As usual, we got Emma in the background providing support to our program, and also Rohit from TMR. So as mentioned, yeah, look, we get straight into it. I just go to my PowerPoint. A bit of a recap. In the last two sessions, we went through a couple of topics, including some principles for science aligned, the 7 C's. The Rohit talked about the legal side of things, acts and regulation relating to science and lines. We talked about different types of signs. So we got regulatory sign, warning signs. We also touch on cyclists and pedestrian facilities, and also sign installations. So today we will cover a couple more topics, and the PowerPoint you can download from Moodle, which Emma showed you at the very first session. Actually, anyone has any problem with downloading the PDF of the presentation? Are we all good? If you have any trouble downloading anything, let us know in the chat screen, and I'm sure Emma will be able to assist. Okay, and yeah, look, as usual, I've got that Padlet screen, which I will copy and paste the link and put onto the chat screen to make it easier. Control V. Yes, look, I just put that link on the chat screen, which is where you can add your thoughts or any ideas, questions on any other thing that we've been talking about. And also a great opportunity if you have any question for Rohit from TMR. When you have a question, put your name there so that we can follow it up if we can't answer it today. So any questions, any comments at this stage before we start going into our topic? Just double check. Again, as usual, we will have a little quiz at the end of the session. And one of the questions will be counting the cones throughout the presentation. Keep an eye on them. Yeah, you can give us the answer, and whoever got the most correct answer will win a prize. Emma will keep an eye on the winner. Okay, so if there's no comments, we keep going with some of the other topics. The next topic, I guess, is quite relevant to people working at council, Ipswich and elsewhere, which is parking signs. So a few, I guess, basic principles and information. If you're unsure, if you're new to the area, or sometimes you want to double check, making sure you're doing the right thing, look at the MUTCD Part 11, Australian Standard 1742 Part 11 as well. As we all know, these are fairly important traffic control device to manage and control parking along our road. Can be challenging or difficult if you have to manage an area with conflicting demands, shopping areas or train station, those sort of area. There's always different needs, and people always have their own view. And everyone just want to park right in front of where they want to go. That's the problem. A lot of people just not wanting to walk that little distance, just park a bit further out. But I guess we are human. That's what we always want to do. So Part 11 of the MUTCD, Australian Standard, has the requirements and the guidelines for using parking signs, and these are the convention that generally people follow. So the principles such as green indicating a permitting parking areas, whereas red is prohibiting parking. And generally, you got the green, and actually now the next slide we cover those sort of thing. And font and color, which we covered. Yep. So here are the key elements that commonly used on parking signs. I assume that some of you kind of involved in designing these sort of signs. On the screen Tuesday, not last week, I showed the new symbol for electric vehicles, which the Australian standard is finalising. And we actually have made a decision on adopting one of the symbols. So we will be going through the process of updating the Australian standard and the MUTCD as well, for that symbol to be added on to the list of symbols to be used. Actually, anyone need to use or heard of the need for the electric vehicle symbol on parking signs? I know that in shopping centres with all the charging stations, there's been queries about what sort of sign they should put up to be enforceable, because there's still a bit of a mixed standards out there. Within council, Ipswich or elsewhere, anyone need to or will be involved in kind of the electric parking control? If you do, yeah, keep an eye out for the new symbol, which I'm sure Rohit's team will update in the next few months and make it available for use. Various symbols, which we are probably all familiar with, you know, S for no stopping, P for no parking, C for clearway. Common layout. So when the parking sign is designed following the MUTCD, they're fairly clean, straightforward, and easy to digest. And that's what we want. We want people to be able to look at the sign and be able to interpret it and do the right thing. Just an illustration again, talking about different elements on a parking sign, the type of control, type of operations, and we can put in a user limitation or exception as well, usually in red. Some examples of parking sign, good and bad. Around Brisbane, I see a lot of these this is the first image. Around Brisbane, I see a lot of these sign with a very small text under loading zone. I think it is a standard use in and around Brisbane, but for me, I felt that the text is a bit small, and I'm not sure it's clear to motorists. So you've got a loading zone, passengers 2-minute max, commercial vehicle 20-minute max. Yeah, no, that's pretty clear. I think there's another sign that might be a bit more unclear, but look, I think for parking sign, the text can be small because generally you hope that the person will pull over and stop and read the sign rather than trying to read this sort of text while driving, which in this case I'm sure will be impossible. This is an example in Yeppoon. So I was driving around up there last year, and it's a bit hard to see, but the sign said 10 minutes parking. It's the old style of parking. So when you've got a chance, and not last week, on Tuesday we talked about sign replacement, when the contractor or council depot staff go out there and replace these signs. Yeah, it's good to tell the guys that double check if it's not the current standard, order something that according with the current standard rather than replacing like with like. Oh yeah, this is another sign that I picked up around Yeppoon. Any comments about this parking sign? What do you think? Is it good, bad design, clear? Just put your thought on the chat screen. Or is it okay? No arrows? Yeah, look, that's probably right. Yep, that should be arrow telling motorists the area where the signs apply to. But any other thoughts? I picked up another thing, which I'm not sure whether it's just me or others as well. Jason, it's looked like you are wanting to say something. I'm looking at the screen. School bus zone. Yeah, it is outside of school, but I don't think we need to put school there. Assume the bus is daily. Yeah, that's a long period of time every day, isn't it? So is the bus zone required on the weekend as well? But look, for me, the thing that I pick up is parking all other times. Do we need that text? Because someone about to say something? No? Parking restrictions, Kurt saying, yeah, look, for me, it's more about the parking all the times, that message. I don't think you need to put it there, right? I mean, by default, you put in a restriction, and outside those hours, by default, you are allowed to park. So look, it's not a big deal, but I thought that, you know, generally in terms of design, yeah, Jason is probably share my view there. Yeah, the text parking all other times, I don't think there's a need. I mean, you could just stop at the bus zone 7:30 to 5:30, and with all the other comments as well. Yeah, you know, whether it's applicable 365 days a year or not, we are not sure. But certainly the parking all other times, you don't need to put it there. It's by default, you can park outside the restricted hours. Can you see that message on the sign? What do you think about this one? I also took this one up north near Rockhampton, actually outside council office, I think. So the sign say P, outside business hours, council employees exempt, and then park in bays only. Any thoughts, comments? So the sign is, yeah, it's a driveway to go around. It's a two-way road. You can see the arrow there. Just yeah, be able to see the arrows. So two-way kind of access road, and that's the entrance into council office. What are business hours? Yeah, that's right. That is one of the issues, isn't it? Business hours. How do I know what is business hours if I am a visitor? You know, you turn up. Some council, you know, finish at different times. Is it 4:30, 5:30? We don't know. Anything else? That's a good one, Tim. Yep, that's one of the I guess unclear about the message. Which is one of the principles, got to be clear, concise. I'm just reading some of the principles. Anything else? Jason, Kurt, Paul, I'm just randomly calling people. What are park in bays only? I don't see any bays. I'm pretty sure I actually did drive around. So that sign is I guess not very credible. I can't see any parking bays. And then I think the biggest issue that I found is the message seemed to be a bit reversed. So you say that, look, you can park outside business hours, council employees exempt. I felt that the message would be a lot clearer if the sign is saying that no parking during certain hours, rather than at the moment it said you can park outside business hours. So yeah, look, to me that's a bit unclear. This is another example that I felt is a bit unclear, and I thought about this one. Up north again, Rockhampton somewhere, I'm pretty sure. It's a no parking 8 to 5, buses, van accepted, and then loading zone 10 minutes. I don't know, but I feel that it's a bit of a conflicting message, you know, like and apart from the fact that, yeah, they probably should have some arrow pointing to the left and to the right, but having these two signs the same power, I just felt that's a bit conflicting. Any thoughts? Is that just me, or it's okay? So for me, this sort of thing create a bit of confusion potentially. And with parking, we all know that there is a enforcement side behind it. So we want to make sure whatever signs we put up are legal and compliant with the standard, or else people will be challenging the decision if they get booked. Some other examples. So this one, Townsville, somewhere, I think. This one I took it, I think, because it's a bit too busy. It's got 2P and got tow away, and it's got all these sort of little text and different restriction. Yeah, look, I thought maybe the sign can be simplified a bit. And this one also up north. This is the biggest parking sign that I have ever come across. I'm not sure whether anyone been up there, but we're driving along, and yeah, look, you can't miss this sign. I talked to the officers looking after the area when I was doing the training up there, and he told me that there's kind of a bit of an issue. There is a stadium on the left-hand side here. And when there is an event, there is an issue with people parking everywhere on the nature strip and on the footpath. So after going through a few different methods of controlling the parking situation, they now put in this massive screen sign code. That's right. Yeah, so they decided to have this massive sign, and as you can see, there's a car next to it. It's huge. It is really really big. But the guy there said that the guy there said, they fed up with the situation, so they put in that massive sign so that people can't miss it. And if you want to get booked, there's no excuse of saying that, oh, I didn't see the sign.
Just a very good point with that one. I don't think everyone's considered it. Is a sign of that size. You see the size of the posts that support that sign?
Yeah, not sure whether they're adequate, isn't it? Is that what you're saying, Matt?
Yeah, not only that, what happens if you get a really big storm and that thing becomes essentially a flying object? I think it's another thing that we need to consider as well, is that signage needs to be installed safely and securely and structurally anchored properly.
Yes, completely agreeing with you, Matt. I mean, this is certainly a custom-made sign, and hopefully the engineers has reviewed and done some sort of calculation, making sure that they are safe. Because you're right, this is yeah. I don't. By the look of it, they've got 3 posts, but whether that is adequate or not for that size sign, yeah, hopefully someone did that calculation. I didn't see the signing officer.
Just to add to that, the sign design principles, particularly for those large signs, it's not based on other sort of structural requirements for posts. What we've done is use actually the size of post is based on certain wind loads, where what's supposed to happen is that the post is supposed to bend, the sign is supposed to remain anchored to the posts, and it'll just get flattened. If it's designed in accordance with the design guide for roadside signs, it's been actually calculated by I think it's Blight Hanna and Associates as an engineers back in probably in the 80s, 90s maybe, and we've only recently, some 3-4 years ago, got Blight Hanna to review and revise the design guide. So the failure mechanism is not like any other structure built of steel posts. This one is intended to actually fail by bending rather than just standing there for the duration of, because up north in Townsville you got cyclones and stuff. So So what happens is we just come in, remove the post, we still have our sign in place. Hopefully it's just flattened and on the ground. And that's what we've seen through experience up north in Cairns and Townsville. That's what happens is the signs just get flattened. Just going to put in new posts and reuse the signs.
Yep, no, that's right. Well, next time when you go up there, Rohit, well, you know, can do a site inspection and see whether the signs do there or not, I guess. Yeah, but good point, Matt. Where's my mouse cursor? Here it is. And talking about installation, so this is what's in the MUTCD Part 11, some fairly, I guess for those who are familiar with it, it's fairly straightforward, but sometimes we forget about this sort of thing in terms of installation. Things such as, you know, minimum of 2 meters above the footpath or 2.2 above the road surface. Spacing, that is one thing that also quite important. I certainly came across a number of queries and issues in the past. People got booked and then they came to the office. Oh, I didn't see the sign, and some of them actually, you know, ask the council officers to go out there and check the spacing. And I know of some stories that if the spacing is more than 75 meters, if you get booked, you may be able to get away with it by saying that, look, you know, you didn't comply with the MUTCD, and so the sign is too further apart, and I didn't see the sign. So maybe next time, if anyone get booked, you know, just have a look around and measure it, see whether it's 75 meters or not. Some additional elements, public holidays. I'm sure at council you have to design these sort of requirements. So the standard MUTCD talks about abbreviation it called public HOLS. When you sign minutes, you put in the number and the word minute, and some convention about using midday and midnight. Some more examples.
Just
Rohit?
one thing on that previous slide there, and probably not just for local governments, but also for TMR, the angle at which the sign is installed in relation to traffic traveling in that direction. The 30 degrees plus or minus 10, that's a very important one. There's a lot of councils that have installed signs parallel to the road and not at that angle. And there are groups here in Queensland. I think one is called the Rivermouth Action Group, RAG, and they go and photograph signs, and they write numerous times to us actually, and you know, sort of at some stage we get sick and tired of responding, so we tell them, look, as far as our documents are concerned, you know, we are very clear that the signs must be installed at that particular angle as a driver approaches those signs. And if you do find any issues, go and raise it directly with the road authority. So yeah, I think that's very important. So something for people to just go and check and let the guys who probably go and replace signs, because some of these signs probably the posts get knocked over by vehicles, and then some maintenance crew will go and install a new sign in a post. Just got to make sure it is at that sort of 30 degrees to the parallel.
Yep, no, that's a good point. Thanks, Rohit. And this is the sort of thing that I am hoping that, you know, after the sessions, if you're working in these sort of areas, you can share this information and yeah, just let the guys know. Okay, so this photo was taken in the city of Melbourne, actually. Anyone pick up anything a bit unusual about this sign? Whoever picked it up actually get a prize. Emma, are you there? Let's see who's the first person who pick up something weird or strange about this sign.
Sure.
All right, Kurt, is a 10-minute in the park with this screen share? Yeah, that's right. Somebody made a mistake, whether at the design stage or during manufacturing or installation, but there certainly is that conflict there for Saturday. I think, oops, no, sorry, not one. For Saturday, the upper panel saying that you can only park for 10 minutes, whereas and at the same time, it's a half an hour. So creating that issue with enforcement, also inconsistency, credibility, compliance, P10 no Sunday. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so Sunday it looks like people can park for half an hour. And there's nothing up there. So yeah, look, I think Sunday's okay, but it's a Saturday one that having that conflict information. This is certainly not in Brisbane, which is good. Sydney is notorious for these sort of very, very big signs. Melbourne, I think over the years, they have improved their parking sign. Brisbane, when I walk around, I haven't seen anything this bad, but yeah, look, sometimes I felt that council or whoever look after the parking control can be a bit too I don't know, too creative or trying to do too many things on the sign. It just mind-boggling trying to decipher this sort of sign and see whether you can park or not. We need to keep it simple and clear for motorists, isn't it? What about this one? A bit of inconsistency, or not inconsistency, it's probably a bit unclear and potentially confusing. We don't use that type of sign anymore, which is good. This is another photo that was sent to me from a friend. He was driving past this sign, and we can see why. Council trying to protect this tree, but you can barely see that important no stopping sign. And actually, if I did get booked, I certainly would challenge council. Saying that, look, geez, where's the sign? And I'm sure the tree will grow every year. So, and actually, that I think it might be a parked car or maybe a moving car just driving past it when my friend took the photo. But yes, certainly we don't want this sort of practice out there. Even though the tree is good, let's move the sign instead of trying to hide the sign within that tree there. We're probably all familiar with this now, fairly standard a continuous yellow edge line that can be used to stop people from parking instead of using the sign. I know that it's used a lot around schools. So, so within Ipswich and Brisbane, I think I've seen some of these yellow line as well. They are quite effective. And at the beginning, when it was first introduced, I remember there was a bit of lack of understanding, but after a while, people understand that, okay, if you see the continuous yellow edge line, you can't stop there. Pavement marking for disabled car parking, generally they are okay. I haven't come across anything that really wrong. The standard is pretty clear and the design is generally pretty good. The only issue that I found sometimes is in area where space is restricted, sometimes the designer forget to provide that additional room adjacent to the disabled parking so that people can get out comfortably and safely, I guess, especially people on wheelchairs. So if any of you involved in the designing side of things, I guess that is something to be aware of, providing that additional space.
One, and the standard for that is not our 1742 series. The disabled parking or parking on-street parking and off-street parking, that's in the 2890 series, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe, yeah, make a note of that. So if people want to find out more information, it's in Australian Standard 2819. I put it into the chat screen just in case people need to. Standard relating to parking, refer to AS 2890, which is looked after by a different standards committee. So, any question at this stage for this part, this segment? All right, as usual, if you have anything, comment, put onto the chat screen. If not, I keep going to the next topic, which is tourist signs. I'm not sure how many tourist signs within the area of your management, but it is another important information type of signs that we provide. And they are, even though they might sound a bit simple, but to me, it's actually quite important when we have a lot of tourists coming to the area. If you're looking after the area, they have a lot of tourists. A lot of them don't speak English, and yeah, look, for them, these sort of signs are important to provide information to those people. It creates that experience when the tourists are visiting Australia in general. So the standard relating to tourists and services and information signs altogether is in the MUTCD Part 5 or Australian Standard. Oh, sorry, no, that's a street name. Tourist is in Part 6, together with services sign. Street name, community signs are in Part 5 and information in Part 15. The tourist-related sign having brown background, as we mentioned at the first session. Information signs are blue. Street name signs are white. Actually, in Ipswich, there's a lot of people in this group from Ipswich. With your street name sign, do you use a different color or you use white? Because I know that some council use maybe have their own theme and they can use different colors. So anyone know? Anyone working in Ipswich who know what your street name sign color is? Or maybe you never look at it. Sign is one of those things that if you don't look at them, you kind of peripheral view and you never see them. If you do use a different color background, like some of the accounts that I've seen, some of them are okay. Green, yeah, okay. What about the text color? Because I was to say that you look, the standard recommend black text on white background because it create it provide that greatest contrast and can be seen easily. So if you use a green background, which is okay, but yeah, making sure the text white on green, yeah, white on green, depending on the shade of green. If it is the standard dark green, white text, yeah, look, if it's a standard dark green background, and white does provide that contrast similar to direction signs. But yeah, look, I came across some council who they may invite some. Oh, there you go. That's an example. Things could. Yeah, look, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, because I came across some council who they've got their graphics designer in and design all these fancy signs with a different color background and font, and it looks good on paper, but when you put out there on the road, sometimes you can't see them. So yeah, got to make sure. Yeah, look, this is some examples. You know, some people use blue background, which is okay. But generally, the standard recommend that white background with black text. And this is another thing. I mean, like Kurt, you put there that example. A lot of council now have council logo on the street name sign. To me, it's really marketing, isn't it? It doesn't provide motorists with anything. I mean, like that example there on the screen. I can't remember what council that is, but from a motorist point of view, you're driving around, you're not going to look at the logo and trying to read that symbol or logo and try to see what council you are in. You just want to know what the street name is. But yeah, some council use it as a marketing purpose as well, which I don't think should be good practice. Okay, so good thing that help people know when. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Okay. Yep, I can see that too. Yep. Yeah, look, as I said, certainly a lot of council now have a logo on the street sign. But certainly, if you are a driver, you won't be able to see it, I don't think, unless you're familiar with that logo. Even the city of Ipswich, I doubt that that you can see it. But yeah, look, it probably have that benefit, perhaps. All right. Community facility signs, white on blue, and as I was driving around, I pick up one that used white on green. Not sure why, but the standard background color should be white on blue. Oh, sorry, I got a text here referred to Victorian tourist signing guidelines. I should change and make a note of that. So there is a national tourist and signing reference group, and they have and it's got reps from all state jurisdictions, and there's been a couple of guidelines produced. Actually, let me find a link and I'll put on the chat screen, because if you do need more information about all right, let me just find it. It's a National Tourist Signing Reference Group. I think that's what it's called. There you go. Yep, the NTSRG. It's a fairly good website because where is it? How come the website is changed to Wayfound? Oh, okay, hang on. No, should be the second link. Yeah, this one here. Ctrl C. Where's my chat screen? There it is. Ctrl V. Yep, I just put the link to on the chat screen. Have a look at that link, because Rohit, you're part of that group too, right? So when I was part of that group, we talked to
Dave.
Oh, Dave, yes, that's right. So we look at various issue, and if you click on that link now, there's a couple of documents in there. Also, if you work at council, I'm sure you often come across issue of people wanting to sign their they ask for a sign to their facility, their business, whether it's a shop, a hotel, motel, or whatever attraction they have, and it can be difficult managing those sort of expectations. And it can be political as well. Sometimes when we used to work for council, you know, they wrote to councillors, and the council apply a bit of a pressure. So if you visit that website that I just put on the chat screen, there are 2 or 3 documents in there, and I'm looking at it right now. The Forced Signs Practitioners, there it is. So there's a document about auditing your area, and also a tip to creating effective tourist signing systems, and it's got some information about how to respond to those sort of requests to make it easier for you guys if you have to respond to those requests. And it's got some principle in there. It's quite a useful website. So
Tia,
yeah.
Would it be possible, all these links that you're putting up in the chat screen, would it be possible to include them in, say, a Word document?
Yes, certainly. Emma, are you there? Can you make a note of that? And I make a note as well.
Yep, if you can put them all in a Word document, Tuan, then I can upload it to Moodle, and then everyone can access it under the resources in Moodle.
Great, thank you.
If that helps.
Yep, no worries, Matt. So I just made a note myself, so that's fine. Yeah, look, I should have put this link onto the PowerPoint, but I missed that, so I will do that. But yeah, look, I will put these sort of links onto documents, and Emma will put onto Moodle. But as I said, this is a really good resource that we have. So feel free to use it. As I said, it can help you responding to some of those requests from businesses or residents. Yeah, another inconsistent sign there should be on a blue background, symmetry, and at the end of the sign it should have that that chevron or arrow as well that will help people to know whether they should turn left or going straight to the cemetery. Keep going. Yep. Okay. Yeah. No, actually, kind of mentioned here, but not the link. But yeah, look, the guidelines and standard relating to tourist and information sign is in the MUTCD Part 6. Also, some additional information in the TRUM Volume 3, Part 6 and 7.
Swan, I think we'll have to update that one. I think if people go to TRUM Volume 3, they will be redirected to a guideline document. So we've sort of removed, we merged Part 6 and 7 into one part and call it a guidelines for tourist signs or whatever.
Right.
Where we've got all our documents, we've got the MUTCD, we've got TRUM, there's guidelines. So if you click on the guidelines, it'll take you to all these guideline documents. That's just, but wouldn't be hard to be redirected there.
Okay. All right. Well, I just made a note as well to update the text. And yeah, look, I will put the new link in the Word document as suggested by Matt as well, so that you get the right link. Okay. All right. So I make a note. Thanks for that, Rohit. Tourist signs, brown. I took this photo again up north. Any comments about this photo? No, I can't remember what this is. Townsville, Rockhampton. Where is Mount Larcombe? While people is looking at the picture and see whether there's any comment that you have. Let me just quickly Google Mount Larcombe. Anyone been there? Mount Larcombe up north near. Oh, all right, near Gladstone's. Okay, yeah, all right. I remember now. On the way to Rockhampton, so between Gladstone and yep. Okay, Paul got it right. Yep, and Mikak as well. Any comments about that picture there? That as I was driving past, I got a dash cam, so I took this sort of photos. Mortuary, okay, Tini, mortuary check. Yeah, this is kind of what I found too. So it's interesting how the gut fan is hit there, whether some tourists got distracted by the sign. I'm not sure, but another thing is, I mean, like, why they stop the gut fence there, isn't it? If you look at it, the engineer could have easily extended that gut fence to shield that sign. The post looks fairly big and, you know, rigid there. I don't think it's a frangible post. So to me, in terms of engineering, apart from the fact that it's got hit, the engineer or whoever look after the area could either easily extend that gut fence to shield that sign, the post of the sign, in case of a crash, or just move the sign, you know, probably 10 meters back to be part of the gut rail as well. I mean, there's nothing at the back there, but a look of it, you can easily move the sign. So those sort of things that sometimes get missed. And this is where I guess road safety audit is a tool that we can use to identify these sort of little issues that the designer may not see. So in this case, yeah, luckily by look of it, the vehicle didn't hit the post, but you know, it could, if the person missed it, could hit the post, and the injury could be worse. A couple of examples that I took about tourist signs, but in general, attractions on a tour road are allowed. A sign when the entrance is obscure, unexpected. So the purpose is to assist drivers. And marketing, yeah, that is, again, as I said, if you work in the area that you need to deal with businesses or residents wanting to advertise their facilities, it can be a challenge. So I used to do that with Vic Roads, and yeah, look, it can be a challenge convincing them that their facility is not it's not something worthy of signing to, but yeah, as a business owner, you always think that your facility is the best. Some of the signs here, look, some of them are okay. I'm just trying to remember. The very first one, I think, if you look at it, it's extremely high. Again, I have no idea why it is mounted that high. It's above that no stopping sign there. You kind of can see. And it's got a lot of information on there. I mean, the middle sign got like 4 different destinations. And in this case, the cafe owner must have convinced, I'm not sure what is TMR or Brisbane City Council, to add their destination as well. So there's 5 different pieces of information, and there's another one that tell people to go straight. So yeah, look, a bit too much information, I think. But as I said, always difficult to manage expectation. Some of the symbols that we use on tourist signs. Actually, this is a bit of a knowledge testing. Emma, have you got your pen ready? Let's see who will get it right.
Sure.
Thanks. The first one here, the hand symbol. What does that mean? Put onto the chat screen if you know what it means. So these 6 symbols have been around for a while, but if you don't notice them, you might not know what it means. Yeah, cultural significant Aboriginal site at work. Yep. So the correct answer is painting Indigenous. Look, the correct answer is the Aboriginal heritage. So let's see the answer and see who most Kurt, you say culture significant. I probably can't take that because it's a bit more specific. So maybe Tim is probably the winner here. Aboriginal side. What about H? H, what does it mean? Can we see the sign? Historic. Historical size. Very close. We start with H. Heritage, yeah, Kurt is correct. Heritage. Historic, yeah. Look, heritage is. I take heritage. What about M? H is certainly not for hotel. M is not for motel. So what's M? Masonic temple? No, not Masonic. No. Museum. Yeah, that's right. Jared is correct. Museum. It's interesting, isn't it? Like us, you know, we've been driving for a while and we may not even sure what these symbols mean. What about this bottom left symbol with the 2 persons? Hiking trail. Yep, hiking trail is correct. Walking trail. The grape symbol. Winery, yep. Kevin, well done. And last one, the camera symbol. Winery? No, not winery. Oh, yeah, sorry. The winery is the grape. Yep. What about the camera? Yeah, look out. That's right. Paul is correct. So here are the answers. And remember, was it Tuesday or last Thursday, I talked about when we design symbols, there is a process to go through, because sometimes when the person designing the symbol, he or she, we think that this symbol makes sense and you think it's great, but you got to test it with the public. Sometimes people just don't understand what it means, and actually I don't think I've got a slide included, but together with the electric vehicle symbol that we did the test a few months ago as part of the Australian Standard Committee, we also test a number of new symbols requested by tourism body. So some of them were like a library symbol, a shopping center symbol. Actually, you know what? I got it here. I should quickly show you. because so there was the library, shopping center, and then there's another 2 more. Brewery was another one. So there's a few that was requested by the industry and the tourism reference group contacted me and said, look, can we test these symbols? And I will put it on the there you go, this one here, to the chat screen. It shows how the result can be a bit unexpected. So let me just do that, because this one here. All right, what do you think that is? The one that I just posted on the chat screen. Library. Yeah, that's right. That's what we wanted to test. But interestingly, the symbol failed. So so Tim and Nuka, you got it right, but the testing, when we tested with the public, it actually failed because yeah, look, to pass, for the symbol to pass, at least 85% of the respondents should be able to identify that the symbol represents a library. But we didn't get 85%. I think we got about 60% or something, because a lot of people didn't interpret it as a library. They thought that it's a place of worship. One of them, I think the one on the right. What did others say? Look, again, I've got the file right here. Let me share it. Let me quickly share it. It's quite an interesting, because a lot of us, when we put out the symbol, we thought that this is fairly straightforward. You know, you can't get it wrong. There you go, testing results. Testing result. There you go. This is the spreadsheet. I will share the screen. Stop sharing, and then now we share it. That one. Have I shared it? Can you see my Excel yet? I can't tell. Oh yeah, now I can see. I think you can see it now, right? Okay, so here are the symbols that we tested it. So this is the drone symbol as well, because there was a need to have a symbol telling people that they're not allowed to fly a drone above the road or near a facility. But you can see here some of the responses were like, you know, people got confused with a water tap.
Yes, but I also do that.
Sorry, what was that? Did someone say something? Oh, good. Yes, look, some people confuse it with the water tap. And then what? Hang on, what are the other symbol? What? Oh, where is it? I lost it. Oh, there it is. So here are some of the other symbols that we tested. This is what we want to sign a brewery site. We came up with 4 options, and you can see here, probably not surprisingly, 75% respondent, well, between 70 and 75% number of respondents got it wrong. But this was a challenging one. We couldn't, and this one here. And anyone know what we are trying to sign people to? put your thought on the chat screen. I don't have the answer on here, right? Yeah, so you can't really know, but what do you think? What do you think the symbol trying to tell motorists? Because this is another challenging one. And chemist? Yeah, it's a bit hard, isn't it? No, it's not chemist. Math lab. Yeah, Tim, you are kind of you are not the only one. But Matthew, yeah, look, we're trying to sign a distillery facility. But yeah, look, we didn't get it right. Math lab, those sort of thing, and you can see here the result. A lot of people don't know what it means. A lot of people got it wrong. So as I said, to pass, for the symbol to pass, you need to have 85% of responses. What about this one? It didn't quite pass either. Where is, yeah, yep. Steep gradient. Anyone else? Trail riding, mountain bike, train, trail. Yeah, look, we're trying to sign a mountain bike trail. But you can see there on the screen, on the chat screen, yeah, some people got it wrong. And that's why this symbol also failed. We only get like 51% the most, because some people think that it's a steep gradient, that kind of thing. The library one, as you can see, we thought it is fairly easy to recognize, but the result is only 60%, 65% actually understand what it means. Some of them confused with a childcare, child reading assistance, confusion with rubbish bin. I don't know why people associated this with a rubbish bin. Ticketing, toll, polling, checkpoint. I can see why people may interpret it as a checkpoint. Confusion with information center. So yeah, so this is the exercise that we went through with new symbol. The shopping center is also another one that we didn't get it right. Pretty poor responding rate, 75 got it wrong with some of them. Confusion with shopping or baggage trolley location. And yeah, so we tested a number of symbols. And yeah, look, some of them came out okay, but some of them didn't. So the electric vehicle, we got it right. So it will be adopted, the same as the charging station. You can see there the percentage of people recognizing and know what it means is very high. There you go. So stop sharing that and go back to my PowerPoint, which is where is it? Yep. Yeah, so there is, as I said, a process to go through if you need to come up with a symbol. Sometimes it might be obvious to the practitioners, but not the public. Services sign, they are in blue. Yep, they're in blue, give direction to services or community facilities. Some of the symbol used on our sign: fuel, accommodation, caravan park, restaurant, rest areas, and airport. And yeah, look, as I said, these sort of sign can be aimed at tourists who may not speak English. So the symbol, we want to make sure, even if they don't speak English, they can kind of navigate and know which way to go. So that is the end of that topic. Any question at this stage? If not, we keep going. All right, the next, let me just close some of the screen. I've got too many screen open. Yeah, look, the next topic is railway crossings. I feel that it's a fairly specialized area because generally we don't build or have new railway crossings in our cities, but it's good to know that there is a standard MUTCD Part 7 that talk about the signing and layout of these sort of railway level crossings at grade in particular. Oh, and I have one slide. I think, yeah, look, I don't think we need to go too much into it. If you need more information, go to Part 7. And generally, from what I observe, railway level crossing, they are signed fairly good. And it because the nature of it is it's extremely high risk if there is an incident. So the railway authorities, together with the road authority, usually get it right, and there's a fairly regular audit at this sort of site, making sure they are signing appropriately.
So on with that one, I think with the number of signs, then there's a lot of those, railway crossing white on red signs. Probably to reduce the number of signs there, somebody's got to get rid of that turn left at any time with care sign, because it's been removed from the standards way back in 2000 and I don't know, 11, 12, something. Yeah. Just to reduce the number of signs that a driver might want to read.
Yep, can be overwhelmed with information. I just look at the chat screen. So Jared is asking what the symbol B trying to show. Which one is that, Jared? Which B? Is it on the slide or it was from the previous?
That's all good, Twine. It was back on the library symbols. A and C looks pretty straightforward, but B, I would have definitely been one of the people saying, I don't know what that means. All good.
Yeah, look, I just look at it as well. And yeah, that's the thing. You know, sometimes when we come up with these options, we thought that people understand what it means. But yeah, when tested, people don't. Okay, so yeah, that is all I've got for that section. The next one is about pavement markings. Pavement marking, we are all kind of familiar with them. I have this small little screen talk about the history of road line marking, and it started in the United States. Because
hey, Swan, can you just go back one slide?
Yep, that one.
Yeah. So this is a photo what in Ipswich or
somewhere in Brisbane, could be Ipswich. I can't remember. Right?
I think you should ask people what they think of the target board around the giveaway sign. Because the other states don't want to use it.
Yep, there was a bit of a discussion around the use of the target board around regulatory signs like this one. It's used fairly widely in Brisbane and surrounding areas, isn't it, Rohit?
Only at places where you want to highlight the fact that there's a roundabout there. But be good to hear from people participating today, whether or not they think the use of the orange target board adds value to the sign or some of these giveaway stop signs.
Yeah, so the sign around school as well.
Well, at schools it's mandatory. Every sign, whether it's a warning sign or the school zone sign, they have the target board, the orange target board.
Anyone, any thoughts about the use of the target board, the yellow target board? Jared, Paul? Tim, Justin, I'm just looking through the Matthew. I do find it grab my eyes when driving. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, look, I think it does provide that additional, it kind of provides that additional attention grabbing, like Kurt said, that probably highlighted. But I guess for me, the point is we want to make sure you don't use this everywhere. Then you dilute that benefit, isn't it? So only at location where you really need to tell motorists because of something a bit different. I mean, the photo here, I'm not sure whether this is a location that for some reason people can't see that this is a roundabout, and they keep going without giving way to the right, perhaps. So that's why someone decided to
I think with this approach to the roundabout, if you look at it, Tuan, where you are in the two lanes, you know, the actual circle is, well, a little bit to the right. So, you know, if you look at the chevron marker there in the median, well, a lot of the times probably people aren't realizing they are actually going through a roundabout, although, you know, the giveaway line markings there, they probably just don't see it. I'm not sure what the vegetation is like on the right hand side. And for that reason, I'd say they put in the red orange target board. And that was the type of application that I was trying to get the other states to agree to.
I mean, Chris mentioned that, yeah, it could be because of vegetation issue. So they want to make the sign a bit stand out, and then pause says that, yeah, use this as an optional component. So yeah, those sort of things. So only use it when there is a need rather than using it everywhere. Yep, no, thanks for that. Good discussion, Rohit. Yeah, I was going to say that line marking that was first used in the 1911, so in early the 1900s. And look, it's actually one of the biggest road safety benefit ever introduced. Because imagine driving on a road without a center line nowadays, it would be chaos. So there's a bit of a interesting history going back years ago. Purpose, so look, some key information and principles here to guide the vehicle, to inform movements, safe crossing location, and it's got some road rules related information as well that people need to obey. Things to keep in mind: lines and marking can be obscured by traffic, may not be clearly visible when it's wet, so that's always been a challenge. So yeah, look, there's various options to make it easier to see when wet, but there's no silver bullet for it. It can be worn out, skid resistant, particular motorcyclists. Anyone a motorcyclist here in this group? I talked to motorcyclists in the past, and you know, they always bring up the issue of slippery surface. All right, so Tim is a motorcyclist. You have any comments about markings on the road, Tim? You find that they are generally okay, or there may be locations where excessive wordings or line marking can make it a bit. Yeah, there you go. You avoid them. I think that's a typical response, isn't it? As a motorcyclist, you try to avoid them. Yep, area of a large marking, that's right. And actually something that I sort of thought of is, I'm not sure it's still the practice, but temporary road work, if there is a opening, sometimes they use the steel plate, and that to me is just horrible. You know, like the smooth steel plate that they just kind of put onto the road and bolt it down. It is a big hazard for motorcyclists. It's slippery, and yeah, all sort of things. So in Victoria, I think there was a policy stopping the contractor from using it, but I'm not sure about Brisbane. Rohit, is that an issue in up there that you can come across?
No, not really.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's good. It's horrible practice. Type of lines and pavement marking, you got a longitudinal line running parallel with the road, transverse line, other line markings, and RPMs, which we go to it in a minute. So in terms of pavement markings, we as drivers, we know these sort of rules, but they do have road rule significant, and if you break these rules, you get fined. Just some illustration of different type of lines, fairly basic here, but just kind of a bit of a refresh our memory. dividing line, dividing the movement from the opposing traffic, different type of dividing lines, single continuous, a double barrier. On my way to Mount Kutha a few years back, I took this photo. Can you overtake a cyclist where there's a double barrier line? Yes. Yep. So look, the road. Yes. Yep. No. Yep. All good. The road rules say that give him 1 meter as well. Yep. Yeah. Look, the road rules say that you must not overtake the double barrier line, but there is a subclause saying that you can do that to avoid a hazard. So it may sound a bit funny, but we can say that look, the cyclist is a hazard, so you legally can overtake him.
I think the rule that applies there, Thwan, is you can overtake the cyclist if there is a double barrier line, but the rider is if it's safe to do so. Otherwise, you stay behind.
Yep, that's right. If it's safe to do so. And Tim, you are right. Don't tell him to go back. I'll go back to his side of the line. Yeah, look, there's a bit of room there, but look, he feel that he want to ride on the road, and legally he's allowed to do so, isn't it? Lane line, 9 meters gap and 3 meters line. We see continuity line. So this sort of line here, 3 meters gap, 1 meter line, indicate the edge of the roadway, lane line change, those sort of scenarios. Edge line, continuous. So yeah, look, the last few screens just really illustrating different type line markings that used on the road network. And if you are working the line marking or looking after line marking contract, yeah, just make sure that the correct line type is used. In recent years, from a road safety point of view, there's audio tactile line marking as well being used widely. Provide audible warning, use as fatigue counter. They are quite effective. From what I've read from the research papers. We also now have wide median treatment with audio tactile line as well. Again, for road safety purposes to reduce the risk of head-on crashes. Transverse line, you got give way and stop. The line marking for give way and stop, which I assume that the council manage this sort of contract. One thing to note is the MUTCD Part 2 will be updated, and in terms of the line marking itself, they have been harmonized across the whole country. So I can't remember, Rohit, but is 300 the harmonized figures? Because some state use 600, some state use 450. But I think in the end, we adopt 300, isn't it? So for Queensland, it's probably no change.
No, we adopted 450.
Ah, okay, all right. So
Yeah,
this need to be updated then, yep. So when...
Well, after Part 2 is published, you can update it, but at the moment it's 300.
Yep, that's right. So that's a bit of a change there. So for those who look after the line marking contract, it will be changed from 300 to 450 for harmonization purposes. Message from pavements, which is used at various locations. This is probably something that some of you already know, but the arrangement of the wording depends on the speed limit of the road. If it's high speed, then the word is reversed. Other than that, there's nothing there. And of course, when you do line marking, make sure the contractor knows how to spell. A couple of funny things that we identified from people around the world. This is in America, I think, yeah, dropping on the right-hand side. Pavement arrow that you use at intersection, indicate the movement legally allowed in a lane. Keep clear. Always a bit of an issue at council, I think, or even at TMR. You do get requests to put in keep clear for people to get out from the driveway or on the side road. It is important to note that the purpose of keep clear is really to assist through traffic rather than side traffic. I just noticed that some people seem to kind of dropped off and just connecting in. I assume that nothing wrong with the system. It just random people may be losing connection. Okay. Oh, the screen was freezing. All right. Can you hear me now? Just testing. Oh, good. Emma, Rohit, can you hear me now? Oh, good. Or is it just?
Yeah. I haven't had you freezing at all.
Oh, okay.
You know, I've been okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Sometimes it does play up. So what I normally do is I stop sharing. All right, and then I will reshare it. Sometime that fixes the issue for some people. So let me reshare it. Okay. So Tim, can you see the slide now? I just stop and reshare. Let me try to go back one slide and then move forward. So it looks like some people have some issues, but not all. So I assume that people is okay now. All right, well, I keep going, but if you have a problem, let us know. Maybe just a glitch in the system. Sometimes the connection is lost. So Tim is still having some issue. Can't see my slides. All right. Oh, got it. Okay, good. All right. So sometimes it's a bit of a lag, perhaps. Page 60. Yep, that's right. That's where we are at. All right, good. You are back. Yeah, look, I was saying that keep clear can be a bit of a challenge managing, again, expectation when people can't get out from the side road or from their driveway. They often write to council or TMR, say, look, I want to keep clear. So yeah, it's always good to refer to part 2, saying that, look, the purpose of the keep clear is to allow right turning vehicles to get off the road so that through traffic can keep going, preventing kind of the congestions on the main road. And if you are coming from the side road, I mean, it might be a bit unreasonable, but you just have to wait. Talking about arrow line marking, which has some legal meaning, telling people where they can move, can turn. This is in South Melbourne. It's about 2 years. Oh no, yeah, about 2 years ago. It was quickly picked up by the news in the morning show, and you probably can see it there. It's pretty obvious that the contractor, this is the road before they renew the line marking. The left turning arrow should be pointing to the left, but the contractor must have flipped the stencil around and put the arrow pointing to the right, which is completely wrong. And as I said, it was quickly. That thing is a hook turn. Yeah, we do have hook turn down here, and maybe the contractor thought it is the hook turn. But yeah, no, it wasn't a hook turn. Yeah, look, this sort of thing, they get picked up fairly quickly by the media and social media. This is another one. My colleague in Sydney sent it to me. They put in the light rail system on George Street. Anyone pick up anything about this picture? Anything a bit unusual? Train logo, yeah, that's right. Good pickup, Tim and Chris. You see here this tram symbol is between the 2 tracks. So that's correct. But the contractor, again, they didn't get it right. That should be on the left-hand side there. Oh well, we are human, so we do make these sort of mistakes, I guess. This is just a quick fun video that I found on the internet. Yeah, Tim, it looks like you lost the connection and then you are back again, so you couldn't see the video. What about the others? Emma, can you see the video just now?
Sure can. Yep.
Yeah,
I'm
same
not
as
having
Kurt.
any
So it looks like a couple of people have got some connection issues. So I'm not sure what the reason is. But yeah, look, I won't run the video again. But to me, it's interesting that with social media, some people kind of using a bit of a creativity to create this little video and make their boring job a bit more interesting. So yeah, it's good to see these sort of things, to see how things work in real life. So Tim, can you see the screen now? That says slide 65 guide posts and all that. Because the video, sometimes because of the bandwidth, you can't see it for whatever reason. But look, I tried to stop sharing and resharing one more time because, can see, all right, you can see now. Yeah, look, maybe it's just a bit of a connection slowing down, maybe in your area. Sometimes, yeah, depending on where you are, it can create a bit of a congestions in internet traffic.
This is a great,
look,
Tuan,
yes, Emma?
I'll just remind people they can go back and watch bits as well of the video. That's why we're recording it as well. So if you miss anything, feel free to go back. My connection's been pretty good, so you shouldn't have any problem with the video.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a good point. Thanks for that, Emma. So yeah, the session is recorded, so you can always quickly. Actually, where do people access that recording link, Emma? Is it in the Moodle?
It is in Moodle, yes.
Okay.
So under each module, so in a couple of later this afternoon, in a couple of hours, it'll be available to view. I'll upload it onto Moodle there. Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks for that, Emma. Yeah, so you are right. There is a recording that you can quickly go back and have a look. Okay, so the next topic is about guideposts and retroreflective raised pavement markers, which they are used widely out there on a road network. Just some reminding information. Use guideposts used to mark the edge of the road and the alignment as well. Great delineation tools. I mean, there are times when I came across an issue of some run of road crashes, and people often think of some other treatments. But when I look at it, you know, the basic treatments of edge line marking, appropriate guideposts, a lot of the time can address the issue rather than coming up with some other ideas which can be a bit costly and may not be effective. Important to make sure the correct color is used. So red is on the left-hand side, white on the right side of a two-way road, and yellow on the right side of one-way road. So the convention is there in the MUTCD Part 2. Red, white, and yellow. RPM, retroreflective raised pavement markers, really helpful at night. Cat eye, some people call it still.
It has secret delineation, really effective in wet conditions when people can't see the line marking. And it can provide audio warning to drivers as well. Again, for those who work in maintenance, sometimes these sort of guidepost RPM, there isn't regular funding to refresh them. It's always a bit of a challenge maintaining that maintenance funding, but they are really good road safety tools that as road managers, we should always try to make sure they're up to standard. Some information here, which I probably won't go much into detail because in the MUTCD Part 2, talking about the spacing and the location of these RRPMs. Colors, oh, this is repeated, isn't it? I got 2 slides the same. All right, better delete one. Yeah, red, white, and yellow on the correct side of the road. We also have green and blue. So green is used to lead up to motorway exits, and blue to indicate the access point for fire services. I'm not sure people realize that, but some people might not know. They see some random blue one on the road and don't know what it means. Yeah, but it means it's for the emergency services. That's where they can find the access point for water. We also have the non-retroreflective raised pavement marker that's white in color, non-retroreflective, and can be used at intersection to provide delineation if the intersection is not lined up in some cases. Right, this is another video. Hopefully, Tim, you can see it, but let me try.
It's gone again.
Yeah, so this video here, look like it's the same guy earlier, just showing us how line markings, and in this case, RPMs, are applied onto the road. Yeah, as I said, I enjoy this sort of video. You know, these guys, they turn their mundane, boring job into something interesting. Now, Tim, it looks like there might be a bit of a connection from your end because you stuck that slide 71. Hopefully, the connection gets better. Yeah, so I keep going, but as Emma mentioned, yeah, go back to the recording if you missed anything.
Swan, I just say something about the RRPMs. So it's in the Queensland MUTCD Part 2. What we've got is RRPMs on the edge line are normally installed outside the edge line on the shoulder. Now, a lot of the shoulder in Queensland could be marked as bicycle lanes, or it could be part of a cycling network that councils or even PMR have dedicated as a cycle network. So the requirement in our MUTCD Part 2 is that if the bicycle lane is less than 1.5 meters wide, that the RRPM instead should be positioned inside the edge line towards the traffic lane side and not outside into the bicycle lane. It's something that I've been telling the cycling boys. I think they run a lot of the cycling training, and they do emphasize that. And a lot of people, probably the designers particularly, don't go and read the MUTCD, so they're probably not aware. And maybe this is something that perhaps people can go and tell the maintenance crew to be a little bit aware of, because our minister is a keen cyclist as well, and I know we've got to respond a lot to these sort of things when questions come in. But it also leads to inconsistent application of where the RRPMs are installed. So yeah, something to be aware of.
Yep. All right. Now, thanks for that, Rohit. Yeah, just show the pictures there. So if there is a bicycle lane which is
1.5 meters or less, then the RPM or the audio tactile in this case need to be on the other side. Is that right?
We didn't say anything about the ATLM. Normally ATLMs are in high speed, I guess, fatigue zones.
Okay.
Not sure if the cyclists are there, but normally, you know, in urban networks, corridors where you've got a bicycle lane. A lot of the shoulders in Queensland, I know the BCC marks them as, and the state metro district is also marked it as bicycle lanes. In some places you do have constriction, so you might not get that 1.5 meters. And in such a situation, the guidance is put it on the inside.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that. Okay, we keep going. We've got a few more slides to go. Entry to town. So this is a fairly recent kind of treatment being rolled out for regional areas. The standard is the blue signs with the speed limit, and usually accompanied with some sort of treatment, like in this case a bit of a red pavement, or the dragon teeth in some towns, just to highlight to people that they are entering a town and they may need to slow down with a different speed environment, different road environment as well. So I don't think there's any study around the effectiveness of these signs, but personal observation is they're pretty good. People seem to pick up the change and drive accordingly. LATM, I think this is the last topic that we will be touching on. Yeah, that's right. LATM, so for those working at council, certainly you've probably come across these sort of treatments. It's in the detail is in the MUTCD Part 13, which is under review as well. And from the draft that I've seen, there will be some other new treatments that have been used, included in the standard and in the MUTCD, to manage traffic and creating a more friendly environment for road users, in particular pedestrian and cyclists. Just an example near Rockhampton, I think. I don't think it's Townsville. And in some of the LATM treatment, when used designed correctly, can be quite good. So in this case, they got a bit of a chicane. People have to kind of navigate that winding narrow point, and you've got a speed hump there, and then a local roundabout. So it create different treatments to manage traffic. So look, they're quite good. Another example for the entry treatment to intersections, and also restricting right turning movements or through movement. Some other LATM up there as well. So working at council, I'm sure you come across these sort of treatments, and they are great. And as I said, go back to Part 13 with all the standards and guidelines.
What's that keep left sign for?
Good point. I never picked it up, because if you can't go through, why you need to keep left? I don't know. So unless that keep left meant to be pointing toward traffic coming from the left, turning left into the side street. Because yeah, you are right. You can't turn right. You can't go straight. So yeah, so that keep left is a bit unusual, isn't it?
Where is this one? Is it in?
Yeah, I think Rockhampton up north.
Okay,
The other day. Yeah, Rocky somewhere. Or Gladstone's perhaps. Yeah, look, I didn't pick that up, but you are right. That's a bit unusual. Should be a chevron. Yeah, that's right. You're right, Tim. Yeah, not sure why it's there. All right, any questions? Because I think that's the end of the topics that we cover. And while you kind of thinking about it, I run through another quick videos that I found. It's a bit old, but it's a bit of a classic for me. And Tim, hopefully you can see it. If not, yeah, you got to look at the
the recording. Yeah, I came across this video the other day. All right, any other questions or comments at this stage? If not, we can do that quiz, and we can wrap it up. So that is the quiz. Let's do it. Now, what do I have to do? I got to launch it. So let me go to my screen over here, and similar to last time, log on to that website. And actually, let me put the link to the chat screen as well. All right, click copy, Ctrl V. Yep, so I just put that link on the chat screen, and I just have to launch it from my end. Escape to our full screen. Where is it? Where's my screen? All right, this is the last quiz, so we got a special prize for everyone, right, Emma?
Yes, that's right. Prizes for all. Well, for everyone that answers the most questions correctly in the fastest time, I guess.
Yes, that's right. Sorry, that's what I meant. Not everyone.
Yeah, but yeah. It's exciting. So, good luck, everyone.
All right, let's see whether most people have logged on. Where's my other screen? I got too many screen open. So as I said, just click on that link that I put on the chat screen, and you will be able to join. Or you can go to www.venti.com and put that code 24001576. All right, are we ready? Let's do it. 8 questions, and hopefully you count the coins as well. All right, I press enter to start. What does the C stand for on the parking sign? One person got it wrong. It's not keep clear. It's clearway. Yep, C for clearway. Next question. All right, this is important. What is the maximum distance between parking signs? 25, 50, 75, or 100? May save you from a parking ticket if council or put it wrongly.
75. Yep, not 25 or 50. Yeah, make sure they are maximum 75 meters apart. Question 3. What does an unbroken yellow H line means? No stopping during peak hours, loading zone or buses only. Wow, everyone got it right. Well done. We all know our road rules and we know how to drive. Tourist sign, what background color is it? Yellow, blue, green, or brown? It's brown. So yellow is for warning signs, blue information sign, and green direction signs. Well done. Bus lane. What is typical pavement color of bus lane? Whoa, the range of answers. Green is for cyclists. So bus lane typically should be red, not yellow, not blue. Yeah, I haven't seen any lane that painted blue. Not yet anyway. But yeah, bus lane is red. That's the standard color that we should be using. ATOM stand for what? Audio traffic line marking, audio tactile line marking, additional tactile line marking, additional traffic lane marking. Most of people got it right, which is good. Audio tactile line marking. Question 7. All right, this may be a bit tricky. Not sure whether you can remember. On the left-hand side, what should the color be for RPM? On the left-hand side of the road. Always be what color? Let's see, whether people got it right. Well, good, most people got it right. So white is in the center, not on the left. Okay, last question is about the number of cones. Are you ready? Hopefully everyone counted. Six, 7, 8, or 9. Range of question answers again. 7 is the correct one when I checked it. Okay, so well done, everyone. Let's see who is the winner for today's session. Right, I can see the winner there. Justin, well done. Team Lisa, because of the drop out.
Well done, Justin. Congratulations.
I will stop this so that it doesn't. All right, I stop that so it doesn't have that. So losers. Okay, well, look, before I let you go, what I ask you to do is, let me just stop sharing. And what I do is I go back to that link that you can post. Where is it? Let me just show you. That one there. Sharing window. That one. Look, what I get you to do very quickly before I let you go is, look, that was the end of the 3 sessions that talking about, look, general traffic control devices, signs and line, and I'm asking everyone to maybe just add 1 or 2 things that you have picked up from the 3 sessions that we had last Thursday, Tuesday, and today. Anything, just put it onto the screen there. Just click the bottom right plus symbol, and you will be able to add your comment. Just whatever you have picked up, learned, found interesting in the last 3 sessions, to share with the group, and to share it with Rohit and myself as well, to see what kind of topics that you find interesting that we can, I guess, focus on for our next session. I will repost the link of this screen to the chat screen. So copy and then go here and then paste. So that's the link. Just put in anything that you found interesting, useful, something that you hopefully can apply in your day-to-day work. We went through a number of topics, so I just quickly going through them. You know, we talk about regulatory sign, warning signs, speed limit signs, direction sign, cams, and people get confused between cams and hazard markers, cyclists and pedestrian facility, temporary signs, sign installation, that the signs sometimes get overlap, tourist sign, railway level crossing, paper marking, welcome to town, and LATM. So those are the key topics that we went through. Can you access the link? I can't seem to see anyone putting anything yet. Can you see my screen? Where's the link? Yeah, the link is there. That's the correct link. Oh, Kurt. Yeah, Kurt dropped in and out as well. Yeah, just put in your thoughts and things that you picked up and found interesting or learned in the last 3 sessions, and share it with the group. Other than that, in terms of, while I'm waiting for people to put in their thoughts, Emma, any housekeeping things that we need to be, that the participant need to be aware of after we finish the session?
If you can all jump onto Moodle and complete the feedback survey, that's just under module 3. Once you've completed that, you'll be able to download your certificate of completion. We'll also post out some certificates as well as prizes to all the people that won prizes. There's quite a list today. You're like Oprah, Tuan. Prizes. So we'll get those out to you as well. But yeah, if you we love running training and we love doing what we do, and we really do want to make sure that we are offering you all the training that you need, that meets your needs in your professional practice. So if you can provide that feedback, that means that we can really offer you a great training experience.
Yep. So I assume that people know how to access Moodle. And Tim, we don't get a car. Well, I wish I get a car as a surprise, but
That'd be great. Yes.
That would be great. That would be great. While we are waiting for some more feedback, Rohit, anything that you want to mention?
Yeah, look, it's been a great 3 sessions, I think. Hopefully people have learned something that they didn't know before. And I think the feedback is really important because we do want to run more training sessions in other parts. Because of COVID, I guess we couldn't do many sessions before, but we've done sessions in Brisbane and Rockhampton and Townsville, even as far out west as Billowilla. So we'd like to take these sessions to other places, and we're trying to make it as local as possible. So Tuan does put in a lot of effort in going down to the local area to take photos and get the examples from the local area. So look, feedback as to what else you'd like to see in these sort of sessions, whether some sessions should be a bit longer or some could be a bit shorter, whatever. We'll take all that feedback on board. And this time around, people don't have to give us feedback on any catering.
Yep. No, thanks for that, Rohit. And yeah, look, actually, yeah, we go back to sharing my my slide because there's a contact there as well for Rohit and myself. There you go. So that's our contact. So if there are any queries or questions, feel free to send us an email, and we will endeavor to assist. Yep. So look, that's it. I think we have covered all the topics that we want to discuss. So yeah, look, as I mentioned, thanks everyone for participating. And if there are any questions, feel free to let us know. Emma will send out the link to the videos, and yeah, it will be appreciated if you go to Moodle and fill in the feedback form and yeah, get certificate.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, if there's nothing else, I hope you have a good rest of the day, and yeah, see you next time. Oh, Tan said please send a link to Moodle. Do we have that link somewhere?
Yeah, I will. It's an individual. Well, the link itself is an individual, but the login details are individual. So I'll send that out. Just shoot me an email as well. Anyone else who needs their login details for Moodle, and I can organise that for you.
Yep. Yeah, maybe just resend that out to everyone, isn't it? That link we got everyone email, so just resend the link to everyone. Is that right?
Okay. Yeah, I can send the link. Yep, and the username is your email address, and there is an option to reset the password.
Yeah, maybe do that. Just resend it to everyone so that yeah we can get it again.
Yep, no problem.
Well, that's it for me. If there's no other questions, I see you around.
Okay, thanks, Tuan. That's wonderful. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye.